What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say 43 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Tala, Bitterbark, and Akiran fought off Azazel and Throth the Unclean in a massive battle outside Fort Ostrosk. We did come out ahead, but unfortunately did get the Skaven Plague once again spread to Tala. It is extremely irritating, but hey, it's part of the game, so we will have to overcome. And now we've been able to also separate these two troops, or these two lords, from each other. Tala will continue to Fort Ostrosk and then probably to the Wintertooth territories, as it's likely we will declare war on them, while Akiran proceeds out this way to deal with some rats. Granted, Akiran was originally supposed to be a temporary army. He still does have Murder of Spites and is a beast. Oh, look, he has the Scent of Blood now. Is a beast lord, so I mean, it's not like he can't still be quite useful. We could even keep getting him stuff and keep sending him out. He's kind of like a Dulcet the Wild or an Akka the Wanderer kind of wannabe lord. He's probably never going to get as strong as them, but he should be well enough, strong enough, I mean, to deal with the rats. Now, in terms of what we're going to do this episode, there's a bunch of admin, but there is also a few potential battles. The main one, of course, being Drycha versus 3 full Dark Elf stacks. This does look pretty darn fun, which we will be dealing with as soon as we spread it around, or spread out the admin a little bit. So, let's start with that. The Griffin Wood, do you need to build anything? I guess we're going to go through that Canopy of Hish, so we might as well keep going through that. I'm still tempted to delete the Azray Armory, but I guess we'll wait on it a little bit more, while our money is still quite negative at the very least. It's not that these aren't useful, it's just that I feel like we are better off getting more buildings that will give us more heroes, as we probably will need more heroes throughout additional armies that we build. In Jungles of Qian, you're actually building the Azray Forge, ironically, as well, but you no longer need these Forest Lookouts, so we can delete you. Forest Lookouts, because it looks like there will be no enemies left in this particular territory, and thus you're not going to need any help in defending. Unless, of course, one of those forest events comes up and we have to deal with it, but we'll see. You might as well max out the Azray Forge. We'll delete it later for military as well. King's Glade, same sort of situation. Branches of Ghur for you as well, please. Gotta get those hero recruit rank increases for our malevolent branch rates, as we will be building them, or will continue to do so. Now, the Haunted Forest, I guess, well, there's a lot of options here, but we'll probably want to start with the one that gives a little bit more growth to all provinces. It's only +5 more, but it is to all provinces once again. And then we'll ignore this until the ritual is complete. Torgavon, Val's Anvil, let's upgrade you. We do want to get wood up and running. We also probably want to get the Roots of Gairan, and those are the main things. So let's start with the wood. And then we will continue with... I guess the question is, what's the likelihood that somebody attacks this place? You know what? While we do want the growth in the Hunter's Vault... Well, then again, we have tier 2, which should be defensible to some degree. You know what? Let's get the Hunter's Vault first. It's another 20 growth. Speed it up a little bit more, and then we'll get the Eternal Watcher's Garrison up next. And then, in addition to that here... Well, we should probably get at least one more military building here. The question, I suppose, is going to be which one. We are at capacity for both Glade Captains and Waystalkers, and I did want at least... Wait, no. We're at capacity for Waystalkers, not for Glade Captains. Although you, Glade Captain, join this Akka's army here, and Israstat, you're in the same situation. We need 4 heroes here. So what we need... First of all, is a better Glade Captain that will go with the melee units here, and I'm not fond of any of these, so what we're gonna do is recruit them and then delete them. Like so, and then hopefully we'll get better ones. It's not like this cost is significant. And Branch Wraiths. We want to get a Branch Wraith of Life in here. I'm not fond of Pageant of Shrikes or Muster of Malevolence. Let's recruit both of you. And then delete you as well. And there we go, because we're going to have a Lord of Shadows here. We have a Malevolent Branch Wraith of Beasts to provide Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, and it would be nice to have a Malevolent Branch Wraith of Life here as well, and both to heal up the Malevolent Treekin and the War Dancers as well, with some Earthblood and Life Bloom and all that. Yeah. Okay, that's decided. And yeah, we can ignore the Waystalkers for now, though there will probably be other armies where we will want to recruit a few more, so there is reason to, I suppose, build that military building as well. You know, let's start with the Glade Captain one, mostly because I feel like they're more useful at the current time, but we'll probably change that up at least a little bit later on. Also, more defenses here, please. Oh man, we do have these force lookouts kind of everywhere. I wish they provided a little bit of garrison as well. It sounds like they should. Maybe do build the Deepwood camp. Nah, you know what? Let's keep it as it is for now. Alrighty, what else do we need to build? Feels like it's been a while since we built stuff, hasn't it? Avalorn, you're up next. We got Gaian Vale. Yeah, that's probably gonna have to be the priority here. I mean, we also have the Grapevines that we can build, but I think it'll be those. Oh, we can actually build both if we wanted to, which I think we do. Or do we build the Azray Lookout, in case this place gets attacked by something? It'll be 7 turns. Nah, you know what, build the Grapevines. We need the money, frankly. We're losing 21,000 gold per turn. It is quite a bit. You are in the same situation, build the Trapper's Den for that little bit of extra growth. And there we go, that should be pretty much all the building and that we need to do. Now, let's do the rest of the admin, and then we'll attack with Drycha. Aka's in a good position, Tala's good, Durthu. Right, we have to figure out what we want to do with you. So first of all, we wanted to take Aquitaine, but we don't want to have Durthu deal with it for us. So what we will do here is we're going to have Aka get a bunch of temporary units, like so. Yes, it's expensive. Then we're gonna have you move here. And then we're going to have you Isilal attack it. Should be auto-resolvable. Pyrrhic victory, some bats will die. I don't think we care. This is still too weak and the enemy will never and defeat us at 12,000 gold. I think we'll take it. Very nice, and hunting ground, or hunting hound, not hunting ground. And then you are gonna occupy it. Colonize. Oh, lovely. And mission aborted, encrusted with filth, raid the following region. Well, it was only for 1,600 gold. Probably wasn't worth our time. Now, are you worth leveling? Yeah, you're worth leveling. You got Blight of Terrors, which is pretty darn good. These two will probably trade units and become one army. We also do want to take Bordelot. Orion can't reach it in one turn. We definitely need it for the Bordelot Harbor. I guess we'll take it next turn. We'll probably want to send Durthu to Mousillon. Oh, which probably has a massive garrison, which will necessitate a fight? Well, then again, it is Durthu's army against this. We'd probably take some heavy damage if we did this. But would it be heavy enough to actually concern us? You know what? I don't think so. Honestly, we've seen... If this was like the same kind of garrison that we had at the Blackstone Post, where we fought 2 full stacks and they were all full of Graveguard, then yeah, but this has way too many weak units in it. Just thought it was of it, screw it. And then, we will raise it. Hopefully you will back away into our own territory, not attrition. You're gonna get attrition. Oh, actually, no, you're not. Oh, are you immune to attrition? I don't remember, I think maybe you are. Yeah, looks like Durthu's immune for now. Okay, great. That is great, because he's now getting kind of damage. He can take Mousillon, or we can have one of these two do it for him. Beautiful. He does need to heal at this point, however, so we will need to be a little bit careful. Daertok looks like Grom has nowhere to run. Unfortunate for him. We will be taking him out like so with an auto-resolve. Close victory. Really? It's probably because it's the Air Force Army. I think the auto-resolve doesn't like this army. Let's see. Some damage, let's heal up. Fortunately, the single entities can all be healed on the battlefield. Terra when fighting the Greenskin's kind of irrelevant. Free Hawk Companion, though, can always be useful. Isolal got himself a great stag, and with that, the Broken Axe is done. I didn't even realize that was their last thing. Now, I do wonder, Thomas Valgir, are you able... Ooh, so here's the problem with this army. If we don't fight it, it might move to Helmgard or past Helmgard into Montfaucon. We really do want Marienburg, but this may have to be the priority. Alright, we're gonna do this. You're gonna go into a camp stance, and you're gonna move out here. And then hopefully that'll mean that this army stays at Aelhart rather than tries to run. I hope so. We'll see. Either way, there's nobody else nearby to take Marienburg from us, which was the main concern, as we should still be able to build their harbor building. Alrighty, anybody else? Colas, you were gonna go north again, weren't you? I mean, you could actually go south to start fighting the dwarfs if you wanted to. You don't really need to help up here, that's kind of the thing. And we could stop on by and grab a few of these territories, I guess. You know what? Let's do that. You can stay in our own territory just to continue healing. Although, if we move max distance, we're probably going to be able to get this in one go. Alright, fine, screw it. Go into march stance. And then, you know what? Don't risk march stance, screw it. Just go like this. I'm just thinking, what if the beastmen are nearby? We'll take Bilbali. And there is still... Ooh. I wonder if these guys are going to try to take it. They haven't taken any of these territories thus far, after destroying the beastmen here, but now that we're nearby, of course they probably will. Also, you two need to join this army, so we'll send you, Waystalker 1, out. We'll send you, Waystalker 2, also out. And then you two can move in. Both of you. Lovely, because these guys are Ariel's chosen, whereas these two are Arrow of Kurnos, and this is an all-ranged army, so it should absolutely be Arrow of Kurnos. Now we just need to put put these guys into another army. Also, after Colas takes this, I think what we'll do is we'll send him to Kingsglade, and we'll just send him through the World Routes, or the Deep Routes, down to either the Sacred Pools or Orion's Camp. We do have a 5-turn cooldown remaining on it, but by the time he's done with gathering these free territories, we will probably have taken it. And they are ports, so we do want them after all. Next up, let's see. Colas is done, Daertuck is good. And Dulcet the Wild. Now you need to continue healing, so while I do want you to go after Drolg there, you need to stay in the Firemouth, which you can, actually. Just follow him directly. Wait, is this also Firemouth? Huh. Can we jump in front of him? We can. It's risky in case... What if there's a full stack there? Doesn't look like it. You know what, let's risk it. Let's risk jumping here. Well, if he dies, he dies. There is an army there, but it isn't a full stack, so I think even with both of these armies attacking us at once, I don't think it'll be all that concerning. Yeah, should be fine. Alrighty, you stay there, and hopefully we will be able to intercept this guy as he tries to move, because he's not going to go back to Firemouth. Even with the tiny garrison, I don't think he can defeat it.
The dragons would approve.
Said garrison, I mean. Alrighty, and we keep going. These territories will also all probably be traded to our allies, as we don't really need them. Alrighty, who's up next? That was Dulcet the Wild. We can skip Aka, who's recruiting. Isolal Straslaeth is good. Deluric. Oh, right, we were going to start recruiting with you. So you need to recruit, first of all. Take out these bats. You're gonna get 2 Zotes, which you're going to transfer to Dulcet here. And I'm actually tempted to get a few more Zotes. Do Zotes... I mean, Deluric could also be using Zotes. He is another beast army. So we could do a similar sort of double army here in this area. And just as an excuse to use a few more Zotes. They are extraordinarily expensive, though. Honestly, they're useful, and they would be useful in this army as well, because you have the Respondents of Luminescence, which I don't recall. What does Dulcet have? He has the Murder of Spites, which is also great, but he does not have the Respondents. Oh, he does need a caster, though. Yeah, we really need a Lore of Life here, especially as we have a bunch of Zotes. Let's keep an eye on the Lore of Life Dryads, which we just swapped out, and oh, we're actually running out of Dryads as well. Yeah, we're gonna need more Dryad capacity. Anyway, I guess you can build 2 more Zotes, so it'll make it take you 4 turns, but well, whatever. Whatever. You can get 2 more Zotes, and maybe a few Malevolent Treekin afterwards as well. And though I think perhaps by then we'll be able to do it via global recruitment, although I'm not entirely sure it's worth the 4 XP points. We'll see. I guess what you don't need is these Dryads in here. And take out these spiders. You can keep the bears and the wolves for now. Alrighty. Looks good to me. Who's up next? Isalal the Lost to you. Oh, right. I had an idea that we could do with you. It's probably gonna be dangerous, but what we could try is to get you maxed out in terms of your army, and then move to Beckhofen to defend it against Festus via March stance. Of course, it'll be dangerous, but it will be a forest army, which means we could have a decent chance there. You have the Armor of Destiny, the Sword of Bloodshed. You're starting to get a lot stronger. Another point in Dark Heart as well. Yeah. Alright, let's get you 2 bears. Let's get you the Manticore. Let's get you those hawks, such as they are, and recruit. And is there anything left? Well, I guess we gotta go spiders. We gotta make use of Dark Heart, so we're gonna do that. Well, I guess we just take everything we can. This is once again temporary. Look at those per turn losses, though. Aspect of the Oak for you, of course. And we'll move you in March stance to Beckhofen. Alright, so out of curiosity... Yeah, this is gonna be a very, very nasty army to fight in March stance. I'm actually not even sure that you can win. It would be unfortunate to lose all these items, but if you die, my friend. We can indeed recruit more stuff here, so I think we'll replace you 3, 4, with hawks, bears, and wolves. And honestly, another unit of dryads. Or, we could get the Winterheart Guards. We're not going to be using them in any army right now. Maybe later on, but yeah, you know what, why not? We'll delete them after the fight is over. Assuming they don't get deleted by us dying. It's a distinct possibility as well. That March stance has me very concerned. Of course, the garrison is trash to non-existent. Alright, well, he could also try to turn on Straslev here at the Griffin Wood, but I just don't see that working out so well for him. But who knows? Who knows? Just in case, well, you already do have Dark Heart as well, and the Murder of Spites. You're actually a pretty good lord yourself. Let's get you... You have Pan's Impenetrable Pelt and Flock of Doom, frankly neither one of which would be very useful against this army, but you also have very limited mana anyway. I guess we can just get you Call of the Woods. Alright. Now with that, I believe that's the last of the lords, and it's time to move our heroes and then send Drycha out. Dada, oh right, Dada, we did summon you. Good, so you're heading out, and you do have Blight of Terrors towards Dalsith. Perfect. Danas, you are the Glade Captain that's headed towards the Wildwood Rangers, as we need to give them Vanguard deployment. You also know where you're going. And that is all the heroes. Perfect, which means, Drycha, you are ready to go. Let's see, does it matter which army we attack here? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but we're gonna hit MALEKITH'S army directly first. Granted, it probably would be a weaker reinforcing army, but I'd like to get Malekith off the field as fast as possible as well. So, there is a reason. Here we go. And oh my! I didn't... Oh, hell, oh my! They have 3 more full stacks behind this. Oh, okay. Well, the next few turns are going to be very dangerous and very interesting for Drycha. Here we go. Cinematic battle time. Let's see how much damage we can take here. Ooh. Alrighty, here we go. Malekith has brought 3 full stacks. Look, his is damaged out to play. We are going to start off by getting those malevolent dryads roused to wrath on top of the enemy Reaper bolt throwers, and it looks like Malekith's going to instantly react by using that noxious breath on the on its own units in addition to the malevolent dryads. Otherwise, we are deployed in such a way that we are coming out of this corner of the map here because, well, we couldn't deploy directly behind the enemy army, and we want to get in between essentially the edge of the map and this army in such a way that it can't really escape. Or on the other hand, if this army is in march stance, it doesn't really matter, but this was probably still the best place to deploy. Our dryads are all the way back here so that they will not be targeted by the enemy bolt throwers as much, while Drycha is going to move in together with the Treekin, Treemen, and malevolent dryad or malevolent branch wraiths to hit the enemy, as these guys are not really afraid of getting hurt by Malekith and his other troops. Otherwise, we've also got the giant wolves, which are gonna move around and hit the enemy in the side / the back, but the Malekith's army is not really any threat here. Mainly the reinforcement full HP armies that are going to move in, especially as this one's gonna get crushed. Looks like Malekith himself is going to land down and fight our regular ancient tree man, but both Drycha and Coedil are going to start hitting him as well. And this is not a good place for him to be. He's massively debuffed, although his stats are looking pretty nice still. But he cannot move, which is far more important. He also has both the Muster of Malevolence on him for damage, as well as all the other stuff. And Drycha's dampening him, so he is going to be dead very quickly like this. Really shouldn't have landed in our blob of elites here. And away he goes, but not for long, as Malekith drops within the first few seconds. The rest of his army is also about to get overwhelmed. Here come the giant wolves and the spiders. And all of those shades, while damaged, are also not going to be able to fire. Plus, with their unit cohesion fairly low due to the number of models that they have remaining, the wolves should be able to just absolutely rip them apart. We've got, let's see, 20 seconds until the next enemy reinforcement arrives, but it looks like most of the enemy army is already dead. The dryads just got here. We do still have a master to kill by the looks of it. And Coedil is trying to hunt him down, although this guy might be getting out of here as he is on a chariot. We shall find out in a second. Could probably use a Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma from Drycha on him just to prevent him from getting away. But the Ancient Treemen are going to keep chasing. And he is routing. Alright, well, it looks like the second enemy army is arriving onto the field, and now the true test will begin between these two armies. Drycha's army hasn't actually changed basically since the start of the campaign. At least it really hasn't changed all that much, other than the addition of Coedil and a couple of units, which is interesting considering we started off facing very, very weak units, like Empire State troops unbuffed basically, and have moved on to piles upon piles of enemies, including in this particular situation a bunch of Blackguard and Agarond. We are once again going to rouse to wrath some more dryads just to get in the way of all of these Blackguard. The purpose of this is mostly to delay the enemy long enough for the rest of our army to get here. I do believe that the second army is also another march stance army, yes? They are tired. What about this army? Wait, these guys are also tired. Wait, was only one army in march? No, wait, this army is fresh, or at least this Reaper Bolt Thrower is fresh. Tired. Wait, I think, one of them was in march stance and one of them was in raiding stance. So one of them will die immediately and then one will not, but which one's which? I think it should be this one. At least I hope. We'll find out. Anyway, we're gonna block them off once again with those Rouse to Wrath units, which will force them, to blob up. Not quite at the edge of the map, but still good enough. Not that we want them to be on the edge of the map, and Drycha gets a Pit of Shades coming down on them. Coedil casts the Doom Bolt right into the middle of that formation as it gets sucked in by the Pit of Shades. Oh, I love that spell. And there we go. That looked like it did quite a number on those poor Blackguard and those Dread Spears and whatever else was interspersed in that pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units essentially destroyed with 2 spells, and on top of that, some very, very elite units in the form of the Blackguard. The rest of our army still isn't here, but is making its blobby way down to try to hit all this. Those aroused to Wrath Dryads are certainly doing work. That said, that is not the end of these units. More units are moving on to the field, of course, as the remnants of MALEKITH'S army do get destroyed and more units are allowed to move on to the field. And a Dwellers Below comes down into this pile of enemy archers or crossbows, dark shards, that are moving on to the field. Our army's still not quite here, and in fact, I think that the dark shards and such would have backed off to the edge of the map anyway, due to the fact that we're charging everybody directly here. But the Dwellers Below look like they're actually going to finish all of these guys off. Look at that HP drop. This is not a place they want to be. I do wish that this faction, the Drycha's faction, had Dwellers Below recolored so that they were like malevolent Dwellers Below, you know? The purplish glowing tendrils that Drycha uses when she attacks, as well as the, well, I mean the general look of this faction. I feel like it might not have been all that difficult to recolor this one spell, as it once again looks very similar to Drycha's attack. Would have appreciated it. Anyway, either way, it matters not. All those all those dark shards are destroyed. The Knights of the Ebon Claw are still moving onto the field, and it looks like the enemy does have a few more units. Some Reaper Bolt Throwers, looks like the Raven Heralds, Regiment of Renown, is coming in. And you gotta love this unit. Too bad you can only build one. Alrighty, and now finally, most of our army is here. Well, actually not most of our army, just enough of our army. Enough Treekin and Dryads to hold back these enemies that are still moving on. I mean, considering it's just a couple of Reaper Bolt Throwers and the Knights of the Ebon Claw and the single unit of, I want to say, Dark Riders with crossbows, these guys should be able to take care of them without much problem. And oh, this is bad for the enemy. It looks like a Murderous Prowess activates here. Certainly it'll help the Knights of the Ebon Claw, but the rest of the second enemy army, or the third enemy army rather, is still way too far away to take advantage. They got all these shades that are now buffed up by the Murderous Prowess and unable to do anything with it. Ouch. Nothing seems to be going too well for Malekith this time around. I do imagine that the Dryads and the Treekin will be able to take care of this, so we don't actually need to get the rest of our army there, so we'll send Coadil, Drycha, and such up to fight the third army instead. Oh, and it looks like a Manticore has landed on our Dryads here. There we go, though not for long. It's trying to escape. Why would you just attack them only to try to escape? What are you doing? And get that Melkoth's on it as well, just to do a little bit of extra damage. No dampen, so the effect is probably lower, but that's okay. And Drycha's nearby. Speaking of Drycha being nearby, where is Drycha? And where's the rest of the enemy forces? So Drycha is actually... No, she is going after that Manticore, which is now below half HP. Wait. Oh, 4 kills. Okay, I thought for a second that this 247 was on the Manticore rather than Drycha, and I was very, very concerned that the Manticore somehow managed to get those high kill numbers. We haven't even gotten 200 and whatever kills on Manticores in our Air Force army, which has been blundering infantry since their inception. Anyway, the second army is done for. Coadil and the Dryads and Treekin moving back towards combating the third force, which has arrived and is now firing all those shades, or firing all those crossbows from those shades into the woods. Of course, we're using the woods for cover so that the enemy doesn't do too much damage, and it looks like the enemy is going to be focused on the Treekin first. So between that being in the woods and the shots being blocked by the trees, and the fact that the Treekin are just insanely resistant to anything, 20 ward save, 26 physical, and 30 missile on top of that. And good luck to the shades, even with the armor piercing that their crossbows afford. I doubt that they're going to achieve too much. It's like firing into trees, quite literally. And they are going to continue moving up. These shades are not the only things in this army. After all, they still have murderous prowess by the looks of it, but probably not for long. This is essentially just a giant pile of ranged units, though, and they're just not going to be up to par when in melee. Even the shades' melee defense is only at 35, and their armor is quite low as well. And of course, the Dark Shards basically can't fight in melee at all. The enemy have also left their Reaper Bolt Thrower unprotected, which means our units of Giant Wolves are going to go after it, and then proceed to try to go after that Supreme Sorceress, which is slowly moving through these trees while on a mount, which probably isn't so great for it as well. Enemy is still trying to focus now, not just our tree kin, but our tree man as well, but that's still not a good use of its time. I suppose our tree men and... well, probably not the treekin so much. Our tree men have taken damage before to piles of range units. Not to worry though, Drycha is ready once again. Before charging directly at the enemy's army, we're going to cast 2 spells, both the Pit of Shades as well as the Penumbral Pendulum, right in this massive line of ranged units. And this is why we wanted to wait to directly charge them, because as soon as we did, they would have obviously tried to move away from that. Some amazing shots with this spell, pretty much every time we cast it. Not just this battle, but every battle. And of course, as soon as the spell is done, that's when the rest of our units charge in upon the enemy. They're going to try to get away, but they're already in horrible shape, and it looks like they also will not be able to fire much as well. There we go. Once again, let's see, though, oh, in fact, we don't even need to charge them. Looks like Drycha saw the entire army off with just 2 spells. Man, I wonder how much damage she's done at this point. Just out of curiosity, nearly 500 kills and 62,000 damage. Very, very nice. The enemy lord is also routing and surrounded by those giant wolves, and like that, the battle is ours. We're also going to pop that Befuddlement of Mischiefs on the enemy, just to allow us to charge it a little bit more and get at those units so that we can bring a few more down. I believe this is the army that was in raiding stance and not in march stance, so it's unfortunate that they're also close to the edge of the map, but we'll try our best to kill as many as we can. Get that Flock of Doom coming down. The Wraiths of the Frozen Heart should also be using Frostbite to slow them down here as well. If we had mana remaining, instead of the Flock of Doom, I would have cast Dwellers Below right in front of them to lower their speed further, but unfortunately, we did run out of mana, but I think Drycha used it to pretty great effect. Anyway, the battle's over. We're going to kill as many as we can, but we can freely just speed this up here. Computer's getting a little bit laggy. Or dropping frames or whatnot. And oh, the enemy even had, is that a Sisters of, no, it's a Witch Elf unit that I think didn't get a chance to use the Murderous Mastery on them either. Oh, that must be so unfortunate. Oh, well, they're going to get destroyed. This is a Regiment of Renown, so we will see them again, and before long, I'm sure. It's going to take quite a while to destroy all of Naggarond, even with the help of our, of the other High Elves. Alrighty, and unfortunately everybody's kind of in the way of each other, so they're having a little bit of a difficult time getting at the Shades. We're just going to move the spiders away. They're the biggest culprit in preventing you from actually attacking units. Their models are too big and they have a tendency to block stuff off. The wolves are really great at it, though their models are small and many of them can attack at the same time. And there we go, Drycha earned herself a heroic victory. Looks like not very much damage at all for 3 armies, but let's find out for sure. Alrighty, very, very nice. That was absolutely disgusting, especially where the magics were concerned. Drycha absolutely decimated the enemy. armies there. 42 losses, less than 4% losses. 4% losses for our army to take out Malekith and 3 stacks. Some pretty decent stacks at that. Look at those elite, our high veterancy shades. Well, I guess the enemy didn't really get much use out of its Black Guard or other units, but damn. And we got a Forbidden Rod as well. And I think this will actually heal us more or less to full. Beautiful. Alright, well, going into the battle, I was quite concerned, I have to say, about the possibility of all of these armies attacking us. Now a little bit less so. And, oh, damn, I didn't see... Oh, right, the defeat trait from Malekith gives us Frenzy, which I think Drycha already had, unfortunately. Immortal Unbeloved. Yeah, income from raiding might have been useful in some situations early, but frankly, right now, it doesn't really do anything for us. And if she already had Frenzy, that doesn't do anything for us either. But nonetheless, we took him off the field, and there are more armies to kill. I do have to wonder, will all of these armies attack us next turn? Would they dare? I don't think we should go into ambush. And oh, this counts as a frickin' trespass. Oh, for the love of, okay, fine. 24k, I think we have to get military access. There's no need to be pissing these guys off right now. 24k is pretty steep, but I'd rather not join any wars right now. Fine.
I will use my gifts.
Oh, only -3 for a defensive alliance, another 17k, eh? That's not so bad. I mean, overall it's like 40k, but that's like one high-profile territory raise, and this will force Gaian Vale to start growing, and partially Witchwood as well, because our allies would be holding territory, or would be holding heathlands. Ugh. She'd probably offer us a defensive alliance anyway, but why risk it? Screw it. There we go, defensive alliance. I guess we'll have to wait for hopefully somebody to take out the shrine rather than betraying the elves here. Plus, this will make it friendlier with all the other elves, which will mean more trade agreements. And aha, look at that. He wants a defensive alliance and military access all of a sudden. Well, well, well. And get some of our money back at that.
It is necessary.
Very nice. Yeah, we have to go to quick deal. What else do we have? Tyrannok. Wait, how are you liked by the other? Are you liked by the other elves? You still have that one little tiny territory. Yeah, you're liked enough, I guess. Fine. And I guess we'll get a trade. Ooh, wow, wait. What about trade agreements? Yeah, Hexoatl, I think we gotta go with you first. You're a bigger priority right now. And then we'll see if Tyrannok still wants to. Trade agreement with you, non-aggression pact, military access, and a balanced offer. These guys can hopefully protect these sacred pools once we take them. And we can give them the territories surrounding. I'll take it. And there we go, now we've got some friendship going with you. Let's check back on that diplomacy. Tyrannok's still willing by the looks of it. Alright. Well then, let's go. I don't think we want a defensive alliance with Tyrannok, mostly because they have one territory, and it's just not worth it. But non-aggression pact, trade agreement, and military access could certainly go, and they're willing to give us 5.2k back. Getting all that money back. I love it. Alrighty, anything else? Well, I suppose while we're here, since we're here... Oh wait, Eatane. They still don't like us very much, do they? They still don't want a non-aggress and stuff, but we're getting a lot more friendly than we were before. So here's what we do. One last thing. Probably gonna cost us money, but you trade pig barter for defensive alliance and 8k, sure.
Behold my courage.
There we go. We'll probably go into a military alliance. The thing is, we want the Knights of Caledor to be friendly with us because we're going to be giving them at least some of these territories. Now, they're not happy with us killing Karazakarak/Karak-Azul, but hopefully they'll be a lot happier with us destroying orcs than they care about us destroying destroying dwarfs. We shall see. And then if we could get the Cathians, the Knights of Kaldor, and the Sylvanians all to take over the Darklands and the Mountains of Morn together, we won't have to be concerned about any of these territories either. Alright, well, it's certainly a plan. We're also, I think, starting to head towards the end of the campaign. The goal for this campaign, of course, being to take every single one of the trees, and then, of course, do the final tree battle. We have one tree that we've just taken. We have 1, 2 left, 3 left to go. Wait, 4 left to go. Sacred Pools, Orion's Camp, Forest of Gloom, and lastly, Lorelorn Forest. Though it looks like we will be drawing near at least to the Forest of Gloom shortly, and once Colas is done, once again, we'll send him out to one of the other ones like the Sacred Pools. So certainly get in there, stay tuned for more trees, don't forget to leave a like and comment. Poor Malekith got wrecked, and thanks for watching.